Ever heard phrases like kick the bucket or spill the beans? Idioms make language colorful and expressive. In this video, we'll break down common idiomatic expressions with meanings, examples, and fun images. Let's explore the world of idioms. Dialect is noun, a particular form of a language that is characteristic of a specific region, social group, or historical period. The pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar peculiar to a particular group of people within a larger community. The Scottish dialect differs significantly from Standard English in pronunciation and vocabulary. The local dialect includes unique expressions and phrases that are not commonly used elsewhere. There are numerous dialects of Spanish spoken throughout Latin America and Spain. The Appalachian dialect of English has distinct features that set it apart from other varieties. Linguists study dialects to better understand language variation and change. Locution as noun, a particular form of expression or style of speaking, especially in formal or literary contexts. The choice and arrangement of words in speech or writing, diction. The author's lyrical locution captivated readers, drawing them into the vivid world of her novels. Legal documents often require precise and formal locution to ensure clarity and accuracy in conveying legal terms and obligations. In poetry, the poet's choice of locution can convey layers of meaning and emotion beyond the literal text. The politician's eloquent locution during the speech resonated with the audience, inspiring them to action. The professor praised the students' sophisticated locution in their essay, noting their command of language and rhetorical devices. Parable as verb, to convey a moral or spiritual lesson through the use of allegorical storytelling, to present a narrative that illustrates deeper truths or principles. To use analogies or illustrative examples in speech or writing to teach or impart a moral, ethical, or philosophical message. The teacher parabled the concept of greed using a fable about a miser and his treasure. In his sermon, the preacher parables the tale of the prodigal son to illustrate the boundless love of God. The politician parabled the plight of a struggling family to underscore the need for social welfare reforms. The speaker often parables real-life experiences to make abstract concepts more relatable to the audience. The author skillfully parables the story of a lost traveler to illuminate themes of resilience and hope. Slang is noun. Informal language consisting of words and phrases that are not considered standard in formal speech or writing, often specific to a particular group or subculture. Jargon or argot peculiar to a particular group, profession, or social class, often used to exclude or include others. Street gangs develop their own slang to establish identity and exclude outsiders. Teenagers often use slang words like lit or fam to communicate with each other. The slang used by computer programmers can be confusing to those not familiar with coding terminology. The internet has popularized slang terms such as LOL and OMG in everyday communication. Cockney rhyming slang, originating in London's East End, is known for its colorful and often humorous expressions. Maxim as noun, a short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or rule of conduct. Another famous maxim is actions speak louder than words. One well-known maxim is a penny saved is a penny earned. A popular business maxim is the customer is always right. A maxim often quoted in education is practice makes perfect. A maxim used in journalism is never bury the lead. Aphorism as noun, a concise statement that expresses a general truth or principle. A short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or principle. He was known for his talent at crafting aphorisms that captured the essence of a situation in a few words. The teacher encouraged her students to come up with their own aphorisms and share them with the class. The Book of Aphorisms contains wise and witty sayings from various famous authors. The speech was filled with aphorisms and memorable quotes that left a lasting impression on the audience. He loved to write aphorisms and would often jot down his thoughts in a small notebook. Parable as noun. A simple, fictional story that illustrates a moral or spiritual lesson, typically featuring human characters in everyday situations. A short allegorical narrative intended to convey deeper truths or principles. An illustrative example or analogy that serves as a teaching tool or rhetorical device to convey a moral, ethical, or philosophical message. The political cartoon served as a parable, depicting the dangers of unchecked power and corruption. The wise elder shared a parable with the villagers to impart wisdom about the importance of cooperation and community. Aesop's fables, such as The Boy Who Cried Wolf, are classic examples of moral parables passed down through generations. Jesus often used parables, such as the parable of the Good Samaritan, to teach his followers about compassion and kindness. The parable of the prodigal son illustrates the themes of forgiveness and redemption found in many religious traditions. Colloquialism as noun. A linguistic expression or manner of speaking that is typical of a particular regional or social group. A word or phrase that is characteristic of or commonly used in informal conversation rather than formal speech or writing. In Southern dialects of American English, y'all is a colloquialism used as a plural form of you. Pop is a colloquialism for a carbonated soft drink in many parts of the United States. Ain't is a colloquialism often employed in informal speech, although it is considered non-standard in formal writing. The use of slang terms like cool and awesome are examples of colloquialisms prevalent among young people. Gonna and wanna are examples of colloquialisms commonly used in casual conversation. Proverb as verb. To speak or write in the form of a proverb. To express a piece of wisdom or truth in a concise and memorable manner. To use a proverb as a means of communicating or conveying a message, often to emphasize a point or provide guidance. The wise elder often proverbed to the villagers, sharing insights gained from a lifetime of experience. She proverbed that a stitch in time saves 9 when advising her friend to address problems promptly. Parents often proverb old adages to their children, passing down traditional wisdom from generation to generation. In his speech, the politician proverbed that actions speak louder than words, urging citizens to judge based on deeds rather than promises. The author frequently proverbed in his writings, using ancient sayings to add depth and wisdom to his stories. Vernacular is noun. The language or dialect spoken by ordinary people in a particular region or country, everyday language. The native language or tongue of a specific community or group, as opposed to a formal or literary language. The poet's use of vernacular in her verses resonated with readers, evoking a sense of familiarity and intimacy. The vernacular of the indigenous tribe contains unique expressions and idioms that reflect their cultural heritage. The novel was written in the vernacular of the region, capturing the authentic voices of its characters. In many countries, regional variations in vernacular are still prevalent despite the influence of standardized languages. Linguists study the vernacular of different social groups to understand patterns of communication and identity. Slang as verb. To speak in a manner characterized by the use of slang terms or expressions. To use in formal or colloquial language, often specific to a particular group or subculture. In certain online communities, users frequently slang to communicate quickly and informally. The author's use of slang and dialogue added authenticity to the characters' voices in the novel. Teenagers often slang their speech to fit in with their peers and establish group identity. He slang with his friends using phrases they had picked up from social media. The comedian's routine involved slanging in a way that resonated with the audience's sense of humor. Proverb as noun. A concise and memorable statement or expression of a general truth or principle, often based on common sense or experience. A short, traditional saying or phrase that expresses a piece of wisdom, truth, or moral lesson, often handed down through generations within a culture. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush is a well-known proverb cautioning against greed and risk-taking. Too many cooks spoil the broth is a proverb warning against having too many people involved in a task, leading to confusion or inefficiency. Proverbs often reflect cultural values and beliefs, such as the African proverb, "It takes a village to raise a child," emphasizing community support in child rearing. Many cultures have their own proverbs, such as the Chinese saying, "Fall 7 times, stand up 8," which emphasizes resilience and perseverance. The book of Proverbs in the Bible contains a collection of wise sayings and teachings attributed mainly to King Solomon, offering practical guidance for daily life. Lingo is noun, informal or colloquial language used by a particular group of people, often characterized by slang or idiomatic expressions. Language or vocabulary that is specific to a particular group, profession, or field, specialized terminology or jargon. The coach's pep talk was filled with sports lingo, motivating the players with terms like game plan and teamwork. The medical student struggled to understand the complex lingo used by the surgeons during the operation. Teenagers often develop their own unique lingo, incorporating slang words and phrases that are popular among their peers. Internet memes often include insider jokes and references that are only understood by those familiar with online lingo. In the world of finance, traders use specialized lingo to communicate quickly and efficiently on the trading floor. Figurative as adjective, representing something in a symbolic or imaginative manner, rather than a literal or factual one. Using figures of speech or language in a non-literal or metaphorical sense, often to convey a deeper or more abstract meaning. The song's lyrics contain numerous figurative expressions that evoke feelings of longing and nostalgia. The painting depicted a stormy sea as a figurative representation of inner turmoil and emotional unrest. The phrase "time flies" is figurative, suggesting that time seems to pass quickly, rather than literally flying through the air. The author's use of figurative language, such as metaphors and similes, enriched the text and enhanced its poetic quality. In the figurative sense, a mountain of paperwork implies a large quantity or overwhelming amount of documents, rather than an actual mountain. Parable as adjective. In the style or format of a parable, structured or presented in a manner that imparts a moral or ethical message. Resembling or characteristic of a parable, conveying a moral or spiritual lesson through allegorical storytelling. The novel is filled with parable-like stories that offer insights into human nature and morality. His speech was peppered with parable-like anecdotes drawn from his personal experiences. The filmmaker's work often incorporates parable elements to explore complex social issues. The teacher used parable storytelling to engage students and impart important life lessons. The fable about the tortoise and the hare is a parable cautioning against overconfidence and complacency. Adage as noun. a short, memorable statement that encapsulates a general truth or piece of wisdom. A traditional saying or proverb expressing a common experience or observation. A penny saved is a penny earned is a well-known adage emphasizing the importance of saving money. Look before you leap is an adage advising caution and careful consideration before taking action. Actions speak louder than words is an adage that suggests actions are more revealing of one's true intentions than mere words. Haste makes waste is an adage cautioning against rushing, as it may lead to mistakes or inefficiency. All's fair in love and war is an adage often used to justify questionable behavior in pursuit of romantic or strategic goals. Vernacular as adjective. Characteristic of or associated with a specific group, community, or locality. Relating to the language or dialect spoken by ordinary people in a particular region or country, colloquial or informal. The artist drew inspiration from the vernacular art forms of her native culture. The author's use of vernacular language in his novels captured the authenticity of rural life. The comedian's humor was rooted in the vernacular speech patterns of urban youth. Regional variations in vernacular architecture reflect local building traditions and materials. In literature, vernacular poetry often celebrates the everyday experiences of common people. Phraseology is noun. The study or analysis of phrases and idiomatic expressions in language. The systematic study of the structure, usage, and meaning of phrases and expressions in speech or writing. The style or manner of expression characteristic of a particular language, discourse, or field of communication. The choice and arrangement of words and phrases in speech or writing. The phraseology of diplomatic communication may include formal conventions and protocols to maintain diplomatic relations and etiquette. Legal phraseology often employs specialized terminology and syntax to convey precise meanings and distinctions within the context of the law. Journalistic phraseology can shape public perception and influence discourse by framing issues and events in particular ways. Technical writing requires clarity and precision in phraseology to convey complex concepts and instructions effectively. The phraseology of poetry may prioritize aesthetic considerations such as rhythm, rhyme, and imagery over strict adherence to grammatical rules. Expression as noun. The act or process of conveying thoughts, feelings, emotions, or ideas through language, communication, art, or other forms of representation. The manifestation or display of a particular quality, characteristic, or sentiment. The outward indication of an internal state or condition. Her facial expression betrayed her true feelings, despite her attempt to remain composed. Artistic expression can take many forms, including painting, sculpture, dance, and performance art. Public speaking requires effective expression to engage and persuade an audience. Poetry is a powerful form of expression that allows writers to convey complex emotions and experiences. Her painting was a vibrant expression of her emotions, capturing the turmoil and beauty of her inner world with bold strokes of color. Jargon as noun. A specialized language or vocabulary used by a particular group of people, often technical or occupational in nature, and difficult for others to understand. A technical term or phrase that is used in a specific field or profession. The medical jargon used by the doctor was difficult for the patient to understand. The legal jargon in the contract was too complex for the average person. The chef used a lot of culinary jargon when describing the dish. The scientific jargon made the research paper difficult to comprehend. The IT guy used too much jargon when explaining the computer problem. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.